Oh, we're a minute early. Sweet.
Actually,
Fast up the early.
I was gonna say if you want, you can open like instead of having the bird and like the ride, do the one with like, look what they need for a fraction of our power.
Oh my God, that's right. All the fucking stuff you were sending me last night. I just like checked my DMs. I'm like, what is happening?
I don't know. I was in a giggling mood last night, and I felt like harassing
I mean,
Whacker.
I'm here for it. It was pretty great. There's, you know what? Hold on. I need to pull this up on stream. Welcome, by the way, everyone, to another Tuesday drawing stream with Crispy, Storm, and Andy. We're here
Hello.
to doodle once again. I need to just share this with the audience quick because it's pretty great.
We are
Andy,
joined by Maze Hughes, the master crackhead himself.
oh, excellent. Amaze gets to see the pictures too. Andy was busy last night, folks. He was making stuff.
I was in a giggly and rambunctious mood.
Fucking MS Paint art, true art.
I
I
mean,
call that balloon whacker.
it almost looks
Balloon.
exactly like him.
That's the thing. He gets all butt mad when I draw him as a cartoon character. I'm like, Whacker, it's just like you. Oh, hold on. I need to pop on music before I. Okay, cool. Anyway, and then there was this one, which I think he's digging for his brain.
Oh, yeah, let me get that for you real quick, Maze. My brain slipped all of that.
Hmm.
Easy
But
enough.
anyway, I'm gonna start out today actually working on something. I at least want to get it plotted out, but this is something for this weekend actually. So, people probably know this by now. We're doing the streamathon for WPPL, and one of the events this weekend is a racing game of Beam and G that Bulk is kind of setting up here. And the thing is, they actually need people. So if anyone in the audience is interested in joining in on the race, feel free to ping Bulk about it and ask him about it directly, because he will absolutely be
It's a
up
game.
for people. Yeah, BeamNG. It's like a racing game. It's like one of those car games you can drive around and just treat the cars like they're silly putty.
Huh.
Yeah, just like driving to the wall and it just crinkles like a foil can, and you're just driving around in the car. I think that's the game.
Hey, Dragon Man B.
Hello. But yes, I'm working on this for Bulk. So it's the shitbox derby. As you
So
can see,
I
we have all the classic terrible cars.
So I had myself a heckin' horrible realization. Also, hi, Mr. No Talk. Which is, while working on some soundtrack stuff for BPL, bearing in mind that we work a lot on various sci-fi products like BattleTech and uh, Traveler and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
That is a big theme around these parts. I had a horrifying realization that, in a way, my not dream job, nightmare dream job, that isn't a nightmare but would still be a nightmare, would be composing music for authoritarian dictators.
Oh my god. Fucking.
Because my favorite music I've written for this stuff thus far is the music where somebody is about to conquer somebody else, and they're justifying it in, like, we're doing this for your own good kind of terms.
You're listening to Gaddafi radio here.
Yeah. Would you like
Oh
to
god.
know more? We can ill afford another Clendathu.
See, that's the thing though. That'd be great because you could do like the Arstatska theme and shit for people. Dun, dun, dun. I've actually never played Papers, Please. Not that it's a bad game, it's just not my thing, you know? It looks like a game that definitely is just like, oh, this is definitely a life in communist country simulator.
Haha.
You ever play that Papers, Please at all?
No, I do not believe I did.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
That was one of those games back in like the early 2010s that was like really big, I think. Like that and Skyrim. You know what the thing is about Geos is they all had like the matte colored plastic on them. unironically want a geo tracker. I don't care how bad it is. I just want it so I can just like whip around like roads on.
See, I wanna do this, but I want more like wacky races. I want us to like, I don't know. I want a guy with a still on the back of his truck, and I want a guy with like who puts those reactive armor platings on his car. It's just
Well,
I do. There's a lot of personality.
I do have a Cybertruck with a giant spoiler on the back, so we're getting somewhere with it. You know what the fun thing about the Cybertruck is? It's very easy to draw. It's almost like it's designed poorly. Anyway.
Let's see.
God, there's a slight side tangent. There's a guy around here. Actually, we have two Cybertrucks where I live, and there's one that's like black that he has on the back like this sticker that I think says Cybertruck. I can't tell. It's in the most new metal font imaginable. But yeah, I get to see that every once in a while. It's like seeing a unicorn that has like, you know, like it's all fucked up, like a fucked up unicorn.
Yep.
Anyway, how's Chad doing?
Let's
Is everybody doing this Tuesday?
PK says hello. Iggy the
Hello.
Viking says extra super off-road. Bully Snake says, at first I thought this was Canyonero, but it's not 12 yards long and 2 lanes wide.
Oh no, the Geo Tracker is very, very small.
No Talk says, and if you have another game, you can make a car in it, then export it to Beam to drive around.
That's right. I forget what that game is called, but yes, that's right.
Rimward has subscribed again for his 33rd month. Glory
Yes.
to you.
Yes. And I am putting this out there again. I am doing this for bulk because I believe this weekend we are doing for the Streamathon. He is running a race in BeamNG. And if people are interested in participating in that race, feel free to reach out to Bulk. He is looking for people to join in. So. I think we need to bring back like more square cars with just obvious plastic on them. I think we lost something when we stopped doing that.
Potentially.
When do we get the Pontiac Aztec remake? That's what I want to know. Actually, I guess never, because rip Pontiac.
Yep.
Man, that sucked too, because they had that Pontiac Solstice they made right before they died, and it was like a pretty sweet looking car. I still see them every once in a while. I'm like, oh damn. Oh, that's right. I need to add some fun decals to these cars too. Oh man, Storm, I'm having that problem again where I start out to do something simple and then I just like keep adding stuff to it.
Take that!
It's like that one episode of Malcolm in the Middle where Malcolm's dad is like, I think he like starts trying to fix like the sink. And by the end of it, he's just, like, fixing something entirely different, and his wife walks in and is like, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know!
Yes.
Let's see how good I am at drawing handwriting. Or fonts, I should say.
Yes.
I suppose that's one good thing I can say about taking graphic design as a major. It helps you think more about drawing letters. You would be surprised the way you can make shapes with letters.
I mean, like, after... for a shit post, I kind of studied the Dune logo at some point, the one from Villeneuve's Dune.
Yes, Dunk.
Yeah,
Yes.
and sort of there was a certain brilliance to it, even though it does have its limitations based on the fact that, yeah, like you just said, Dunk.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, yeah. It's you know, it's something you don't necessarily think about, but then, like, in studying this, it eventually clicked for me, and it's just like, wow, you know, I just kind of developed an eye for it, essentially. I had to. Typography was not an easy thing to kind of learn for me in terms of design, but I got there eventually. Because it's not so much figuring out just the shape of the letters, but the shapes of the words as well. If that makes sense, it's a whole thing. But if you want to see a good example of like how typography can affect design, I think the best example I can think of is the FedEx logo, because, and I'm not sure how many people are aware of this. The E and the X between the FedEx logo make that arrow on purpose.
Yeah. Like,
Or
I feel like that's a pretty solid example of it, actually.
yeah. Or another fun one is the Baskin Robbins logo. If you look at the modern Baskin Robbins logo, unless they changed it since I last looked, but there's parts of the letters that are different colors that form the number 31 because that's the number of flavors Baskin Robbins has.
Yeah.
Just fun stuff like that. It's just interesting to. It's the little things that scratch that itch in my brain.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm sure you've got music and stuff that's like that, where you just like really get into how they make things.
Oh, yeah. Like, so, while it's not my favorite type of metal, it's still metal I enjoy. And there are times where I'll listen to something because I want to listen to the mix, not the song per se. And for me, that is hair metal and like glam rock.
Ah, yes, New York Dolls.
So yeah, like Bon Jovi, what's her name, Aerosmith.
I guess
Guns N'
Aerosmith is glam rock, isn't it?
Yeah, Guns N' Roses, Kiss, because they they're metal, but they were basically mixed and produced by pop producers.
Yeah.
And so that was always sort of, what was on the mind of the person.
Yeah. Music is an interesting thing to get into the history of with a lot of it. Like the one podcast I listen to, No Dogs in Space, really goes into like punk and stuff and how that formed. It's just such an interesting story with a lot of it.
But yeah, in music, like if you decide you're going to try to make your own music at some point, the secret to a good mix is very simple. You need to be able to hear the bass, the snare, and the voice. Or if in lieu of the snare, whatever your timekeeper is. Like, everything else is secondary, even the guitar. The guitar only becomes primary if it's like a guitar solo.
You know, that actually...
Unless it's like thrash metal where the guitar kind of becomes part of the time.
Well, no, there's a band I want to send you a track of at some point, just to kind of get your thoughts on that, because I really like this band. They're called Frankie and the Witch Figures. Fucking awesome band. I definitely recommend checking them out for people. But they their bass is very subtle in it, you know.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting. But, I'm also someone that really enjoys like a hard bass to their music.
You might like Symphony X.
I thought of Static X. That's new metal, but yeah.
Think more like if Dream Theater did the power metal thing.
Okay, yeah, I like Dream Theater, so
yeah. So think like Dream Theater or Tool, that level of complexity, but instead they're doing like the kind of songs you sing about, like, fantasy adventures and slaying dragons and shit.
So kind of like Dragon Force almost.
The kind of thing Dragon Force wishes it was.
Oh damn! Shots fired.
I should be nice. I think Dragon Force is a good band in that it gets people into the fandom. But anyone who's really into like power metal or symphonic metal or speed metal will look at Dragon Force and tell you they actually don't do anything particularly complicated. They just do it really fast.
That is very true.
They're also the kind of band where, like, again, they make some good stuff, but they were formed by a producer. Like, a marketing team built that band.
Ah, so they're like the Sex Pistols of symphony metal.
Power metal, but yes.
Or power metal.
Yeah, and so they have a very canned sound. Everything they do is, I think Mad Ducks put it best, which is when he listened to before they got big, he got an album of theirs, and he listened to the album all the way through once, and could not delineate the songs from each other. It's very much like, how would I put it? In a way, it's like the heavy metal version of Nickelback. Their songs are rather repetitive.
Oh man, that's rough. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying though.
And it's not like any of them are bad. It's not like it sounds bad. They are competent at what they do, but it's like, I listen to them and I'm like, yes, I know that particular riff from Rhapsody of Fire, or yes, I know that rhythmic method. That's something Blind Guardian does all the time, or like, Hello Halloween, I missed you. And so it's just, I don't accuse them of being bad. I just don't accuse them of being original either.
That's totally fair. I mean,
there's
plenty of bands like that.
They are to metal as mass production art is to a corporate office.
Actually, speaking of bands repeating stuff, I have a fun little thing the audience can do. For the audience, I want you to look up 3 different songs. I want you to look up Life Goes On by The Damned, and then I want you to look up the 80s by The Killing Joke, and then look up Come As You Are by Nirvana, and you're going to have your mind blown a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, it's like Maestro and I were talking about this the other day, the James
Maestro's the guy to talk about, yeah.
Yeah. The James Horner sting, where if you watch the movie, let's say The Wrath of Khan, if you watch the Aliens, or the first Alien movie, the Dread theme, and then if you watch not Blade Runner, Enemy at the Gate during the sniper duel,
Oh, now,
and then if you watch the movie Troy, as the Greeks are landing at the beach of Troy, dun 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 dun,
and then
dun 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 dun.
And then if you watch Clerks, during the bathroom scene where they find the old guy dead, you will hear no.
And then during the burning of Home Tree in Avatar, dun 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 dun.
Oh my god, fucking Avatar, man.
I'm
on the side of the humans in that fucking movie. I'm just gonna say it. Like,
yep. But you also hear it with, say, like even Hans Zimmer. Well, okay, there's some exceptions to this rule, but like, yeah, the movie Pirates of the Caribbean, the original soundtrack guy they had for it had basically plagiarized Hans Zimmer, and so then they just had Hans Zimmer. They just had Hans Zimmer come in and finish up the soundtrack, but he didn't change the track that was the point of contention.
Gotcha.
And so as a result, the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack is dun 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 dun, as opposed to the Gladiator soundtrack dun 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 dun.
You were literally like Vanilla Ice explaining why he didn't have to pay Queen for Ice Ice Baby because he added extra notes.
Yeah.
He added like 1 extra note to it.
Yep. And then Iggy the Viking here brings up Bloody Pachelbel because, okay, everyone knows Pachelbel's canon, right?
What's Pachelbel?
Dun 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 dun.
Ah, yes. Suck a dick.
And follow me here. Dun 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 dun.
I don't think we played that.
Do you have the time?
Shut the fuck up.
Listen to me whine. All punk music is just Pachelbel's canon.
No, it's not.
It's the same 3 fucking chords.
No.
You out the door. These songs are all the same. Don't think about it.
Storm, I'm going to fly to where you are, and I'm going to dump fire ants on you. I swear to God, that's not all punk music. That's like Hot Topic punk music.
It's a lot of pop punk and a lot of pop songs in general.
Yes, pop punk. I will absolutely agree with you on that. Just like much of pop punk is I Hate This Town.
Although it
If
does
you think about it, like the masters were all punk in their own right, like pissing off the kings and all that.
I'm just thinking of people like Iggy Pop. So,
Mhm.
because the Stooges were like the godfathers of punk,
And-
essentially.
And I'm trying to remember the guy who did it, but he did this rant about all punk music being packable as canon. And he's joking, obviously, for the sake of the bit. But he's like, punk music's just a joke. It's really just Baroque.
Why do I feel like that was Jello Biafra?
It very well could have been. Let me go look
That,
it up.
that sounds like something he'd do. I mean, he has the song with the Melvins, these dumb punk kids will buy anything, so... Jello Biafra is quite the character. I don't know if I got the same vomit tan as my first car had, but I feel like I got kind of close to. Actually, I think it's more like the color of the dust
Crispy.
clouds. But we asked.
Crispy!
Mm,
I did something stupid.
no, that doesn't sound like us.
Is that a geo-tracker? Asks the Halion.
Oh, you bet it's a geo tracker. You know I want one of those, man.
There you go.
Oh, that's wonderful. You and the fucking. All right, hold on. I need to share this. I need to share this on stream real quick. Oh God. Hold on. Let me do something here real quick so it makes my life easier. There we go. Andy made a art. You fucking whacker. Why do I have fish lips?
Oh, you're holding a paintbrush, and Stormsong's just looking out the side of the window like, yes, I like the outcome of this event. And Whacker's like, oh God, hold my beer, and I'm just like,
You know what? You know what Storm reminds me of is one of those Playmobil figures.
I kind of look
You know what
like
I mean?
I kind of look like Grandpa from Dragon Ball Z.
A little bit.
oh, Ox King.
Yeah, the Ox King.
Oh,
I don't mind
that.
I don't mind that. There are worse dad bods.
I mean, he's got like the ideal dad bod. He's got that good level of fat ripped.
Wasn't Ox King one of like the strongest like
Mortal
pre-Z?
men, yeah.
Well,
I hope. Yeah. Dragon Ball Z lore is weird, which
I swear,
you
like
could have foreseen.
I haven't watched original Dragon Ball, but I get the impression that it's like post-apocalyptic in some ways.
Part of me wants to say I would not be surprised if it was. You know, I want to say I watched pretty much a good chunk of the original Dragon Ball, because when it used to be on Toonami, but it gets interesting.
Yeah. By the way, did you show him a picture of you as Omni-Man? The
Wait, which one is that?
one where you're saying, look what they have to do to get a fraction
Oh,
of our
yeah.
power.
Fuck it, why not? Let's meme post.
Hey.
I like how it just has like a gradient over it, like it's a PowerPoint presentation. There we go.
Bully Snake says, did you know the upper link for the rear axle on a Geo is a front lower control arm?
I'm not
Or
sure
that's
what
a
that
joke,
is.
or that's a joke, and I'm not technically minded enough to get it. Either way,
I don't. I will say this much: if you see me underneath a car, call 911. Something bad has happened. I'm not really car knowledgeable. Surprising, I know, but
oh no, Samurai has given us a gift.
what gift is that? I'm scared.
Storm explains punk.
I can explain punk.
This is
I can explain punk in one sentence. Fuck you, won't do what you tell me. Punk is all about doing shit your own way. That's my take on it.
I did it my way.
I'm not gonna call Frank Sinatra punk. He absolutely was not. He was a crooner.
Yeah, but he did get the bitches.
You know who was really into punk? John Belushi. Him and Dan Aykroyd used to go to punk shows.
I love how so many of our conversations end with you threatening to dump fire ants on me.
I just need to look into it to see if it's actually possible, because I feel like if I order fire ants in the mail, that's not going to end well.
I was part of a group back when, and there was somebody who got mad and literally did mail fire ants to someone else. They got arrested. They got arrested. It didn't go the way they wanted, and we came up with an entire lore about them as being a supervillain. Incidentally, Facebook video game fandom pages are off their fucking rocker sometimes.
Oh man, I can only imagine. If it's like the Pooh Adventures wiki, it just gets probably Looney Tunes.
The what adventures?
Dude, I don't even know if I could explain it if I tried. Someone who is either brilliantly gifted or just deeply, deeply traumatized has made an entire wiki of this, like, movies that don't exist of Winnie the Pooh and friends going on adventures in, like, different crossover settings. It's so weird. I haven't looked into it, I just know it exists.
I'm getting the distinct feeling UNC Samurai has a thing against the Sex Pistols.
Oh, why? Because Johnny Rotten was a massive asshole, and so was Sid Vicious? No, that doesn't seem possible.
Well, he's saying that both Dragon Force and Frank Sinatra were more punk than the Sex Pistols.
No, he's got a point, though. The Sex Pistols were more show. The Sex Pistols were very much like a packaged version of punk. They weren't like Sid Vicious didn't know how to play guitar. They were literally packaged by the I forget the guy's name, but he like owned a shop called the Sex Shop, which was like a fashion store, and essentially like made the Sex Pistols his band. He also destroyed the New York Dolls later on, but that's a whole other story. Honestly, if you want a really great old school punk band to listen to, I would say The Damned is a solid bet. The Damned, The Clash, the Ramones, the Cramps. Definitely the Cramps are awesome.
Cramps.
Yeah, they're rockabilly. It's pretty great. Dead Kennedys, if you like being.
We don't need you anymore. Kill, 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 kill the poor.
Soup is good food.
Dead Kennedys are fun.
Yeah. I love that one award show they went to where they just like sang the My Payola song, and they took their like suit jackets off and they had like S's spray painted on their shirt, and then the tie made it a $sign. And they did it because it'd just be funny.
UNC Samurai says there was a viral video about a decade ago that was trying to explain why Chumbawamba was punk and the Sex Pistols weren't, because nobody in the U.S. knew Chumbawamba beyond that one song. Which is hilarious.
I can imagine their discography gets real raunchy.
Well, no, so here's the thing. Most of their stuff is, like, hyper-political, which is why Chumbawamba became our word for politics and social stuff in the Ox. Like, no Chumbawamba.
Oh, really?
No, it wasn't.
Well, okay, then you explain.
I was the one that made it up, Waxstorm, remember?
I
don't remember.
It
came out of the ether for all I knew.
You know what that is? A moment of serendipity. That's what that is.
Here's the stupid reason why I came up with the term Chumbawamba. It's actually a skit from the Muppets, and there was this Muppet going Hubba Wubba, and he wanted all the other Muppets to say Hubba Wubba, but when they didn't, he got mad and he blasted them in the face with his nose.
I shouldn't be surprised you came up with the idea for that term from the
But Muppets. I got it wrong because that's what I do. I get things wrong, and I said Chumbawamba instead of Hubba Wubba. But I'm glad that it overlaps. Because to be honest, what you're saying is a hell of a lot more intelligent than what I'd say. So
I mean, it's a marvelous lineup.
That's what I said. A moment of serendipity.
You may have done that before I joined the Ox, then, because by the time I came in, it was already a semi-established term. I'm getting a phone call from a customer. I'll be right back.
I am going to be honest. I try to think back on the early history of the Ox, and it just happened so fast. It's a blur to me.
I remember just most of my chats with it was early morning when I was sitting in a Waffle House waiting to go to work.
Oh yeah, I remember you used to send pictures of your steaks. Those look pretty good. And then I remember the day we came up with stuff like Meth Weasel, but for the most part, I'm just like...
I return.
A lot of it was just like, stuff happens so fast in there, like...
I miss doing what I call it moth explode. No.
Yes, Moth Watch.
Yeah, moth watch. I miss doing moth watch.
You should just start doing it again, man. If you see more moths.
Well, I would, but I'd have to wake up like really early in the morning to do that, and I don't do that anymore because I work reasonably now. I say
fair.
that. Moth watch explosion 2024.
There's a moth.
Look at the moth.
Just need like a new metal like thrash guitar solo behind, just like rapidly zooming in and out from a moth. Oop, I will be right back.
For some reason, most moths are like something sphinx, and I'm like, why? What's people like the sphinx? And I guess someone said like the Egyptians like the moth a lot or something. I don't know. I don't know. I. Oh shit! What did he say? I never made it without biting. Ask Mr. Owl.
I am back. Alright. What color is a Cybertruck? Oh, who cares? That's good enough. Man, I used to want a PT Cruiser so much when I was younger. I kind of still would want one if I'm honest. Those cars looked kind of fun back in the day.
There's this old hardware store that someone turned into some sort of like auto show shop or something like that, and I was passing by it the other day, and they actually had a 1957 Chevy standing outside it, and I wanted to pull over and take a picture of it.
Yeah. I do love seeing a nice classic car out in the wild. I'm not like a car guy per se, but I do enjoy a good classic car.
I'm not really a car person, but there's something that I do appreciate.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I mean. It's like there's certain cars that I like, and I definitely appreciate like a good old car, but it's in terms of like knowledge on the subject, I'm very much, I'm very much bare bones with it. I can
All I
tell
know
you more
is
about
fuck the
military
alternator.
vehicles.
I'm tired of that shit.
Man, you just reminded me of the one time my brother decided to put a subwoofer in the back of his car, which was like a 93 Nissan Stanza, by the way. It wasn't like anything special. And this was one of those jobs that was done in the driveway of my friend's house, and the guy doing it didn't know what he was doing because the way he hooked it up directly to the battery just fried the alternator on it. So yeah, go to a professional. How many people's cars do you think were ruined because of Fast and Furious?
Ruined because of what?
Fast and Furious.
Oh, countless. I mean, after seeing the Tide Pod challenge.
That, what's funny is like we got Tide Pods to use here, and I'm like, huh, weird. I remember these being colored, and then I thought about it. I'm like, they probably got rid of that so people would stop eating them.
This looks delicious. I'm going to eat it.
Yep.
I don't understand.
Because humanity is okay. We know the quote: "A person is smart. People are dumb, cranky, stupid, savage, wild animals, and you know it."
Yes, they are.
Hey, Rebecca, turn the light on for my drawing.
Doing some drawing, are we?
If I try doing drawing in the dark, even with the computer, it's just the difference in the light around the screen and so forth bothers my eyes.
I get you.
So I'm
It's
on.
like, I used to work with like straight white backgrounds for my drawings, but I've switched over to kind of like a 50% gray, and it's a lot easier on the eyes.
Yeah, I use kind of an off blue color, typically.
Gotcha.
Like pale, kind of aqua green.
That works too.
aqua green. It's something I don't know what it means.
That color that like you use for the ocean that's halfway
I
between
know.
like green and blue.
I know. I was
Oh,
just singing
okay.
a silly. I was singing a silly song.
Oh, okay. I took you literally.
Sing a silly song.
Skibbity doo wop, skibbity
Oh
riz.
God.
Why is the music in Star Wars called Jizz? Why is my soda all out of fizz? Skibbity doo wop, skibbity riz. You can hear the suffering in Crispy's voice.
Yeah, the visible
And its
disgust.
storm song sings a diddle. What you hear? It's near.
A fiddle.
I almost made a whittle.
Oh god. So my character in the Fallout game. Okay, so right, this is just a fun sentence to say. In the Fallout game that my rabbi is running, um, I am
That's right. I
playing.
keep forgetting you're doing that.
Yeah. So for the audience, this guy and I, we went to college together. We're close friends. He became a rabbi and thus became my rabbi. But we've been playing like D&D and shit together for
Okay.
years. So
Slight related question. Does he spin a dreidel to roll for damage?
that joke has never come up. Actually, I need to spin a drake. Oh,
Okay.
I have
You
a
know what?
prank.
You know what? I think you need to make a dreidel, and you need to like next time he goes to do a roll at your game, he's like, no, I got this, and you just pull that out, just spin it, just
Yeah.
see what he does.
So,
I guarantee he'll laugh his ass off.
so yeah, we're playing a Fallout game right now, and my character is the sniper of the party. He's kind of the strider of the group. So in a party that's mostly vault dwellers, he's like the one wasteland survivalist. And so, because he's the sniper, that's usually what he's doing during a fight. He's often the one that'll go up and like scout ahead and see how far he can see for everyone else. But one of the side things is he has a fiddle, and he plays fiddle whenever they're around the fire or something like that. And so then there came a point where I queued up the music, and Jaden, who's also in the game, started singing "A Sniper on the Roof." Sounds crazy, no? As the fiddle music starts playing.
You did a Fiddler on the Roof parody. Oh my god.
But here in any little town in the wasteland, it's more possible to not 2 words. And I can't remember what we came up with.
If I was playing Fallout and I saw a guy singing Fiddler on the Roof to that, I would pull out the Fat Man. It's like, this guy's getting something special.
Sensible. Desirable,
Yeah.
even.
Yeah. I like to get creative in my Fallout games when it comes to dealing with certain problem. It's like, I went to Paradise Falls, and then they were like, "Oh, we'll let you in if you catch slaves for us." And then I went and came back with power armor and a minigun, and a Fat Man, and I was like, "No more Paradise Falls."
Yep. You actually don't need the power armor, it turns out, but so long as you have like good combat armor.
It's not about the practicality. It's about sending a message.
Okay, that
Did I need to go to the fort with like the best Gatling laser in New Vegas, advanced power armor, and the holy hand grenades? No, but I wanted to.
Yeah, I can appreciate this.
Yes. Didn't make Caesar needed to know why Rome died.
The lead?
Well, there was a lot of. Actually, there was no lead because I used a Gatling laser, so never mind. Actually, the lead was probably the coffins they were buried in afterwards because I used the holy hand grenades and those things.
Technically speaking, in my opinion, the best way to kill Caesar in Fallout would have had like his closest advisors just start stabbing the shit out of him.
In the sense
Sadly,
that
there's no mind control thing.
Yeah, in the sense that you can become trusted by him, you kind of can.
Yeah, you could do amateur surgery. Emphasis on amateur.
Mr. Nodohawk says Rome fell because of big kitty goth girlfriends.
Man, if only. I've seen some art that definitely supports that theory.
If Romely.
Oh my god.
Dun 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 dun. Stop.
Vinny Vinny Vici!
I came, I saw, I hit him right dead in the jaw.
I learned that from Doug. Because when he was like practicing to be a magician, that was his magic words, Vinny Vinny Vici.
Doug is one of those shows that I saw a lot of, but I couldn't tell you a single thing about it.
He loved patty mayonnaise.
That I knew. His best friend was Skeeter.
And she had a smoker's voice for some reason.
I blame The Simpsons.
I mean, like... There'd be an episode where... There should be an episode where Doug's dad pulls him aside and says, Doug, son, I want you to imagine Patty. I know you love her very much, but I just want you to imagine her screaming at you 3 a.m. in the morning. With that voice.
That would be rough. That'd be a rough adjustment. Also, who the fuck is screaming at you at 3 in the morning? What did you do? If I'm getting screamed at 3 in the morning, I want it to be because the building's on fire and I gotta leave. Not because someone's mad at me. Actually, I technically have been woken up by 3 a.m. by screams, but it's my cat meowing in my face, so...
Aww.
Pudding wants food and pets, usually. Apparently he was meowing at me the other night, and I was just so fast asleep I didn't even flinch.
My cat, Tiger, has developed this habit of jumping on me in my sleep, and she lands on my gut, so it's like, ugh!
Wakes you up, though, I imagine.
It does, and I'm trying to stop her from doing it, but sometimes it is, helpful because she usually does it when I'm supposed to wake up before work. But she also does it when, when her food bowl is empty.
Supposed to get you up.
I mean, you have to be a good, human food slave, and, you have a job, but the food is really the big thing.
I don't want to use one of those auto feeders because I'm afraid the food will get stale inside,
We use them for our cats. It's no big deal.
I also don't want them to get, too fat. I've already got one that's,
Well, that's the thing.
She's fatter than I think she should be.
You set it to an auto feeder and it just limits the amount of time. You can set it to whatever limit you need it to, so...
That's true.
Yeah.
I like those videos where, the auto feeder, you hear that and the cat just bolts off.
Yeah, that happens.
In reference to our earlier conversation about Caesar, et tu nuke.
that is what happened last time I went to visit Caesar, yes.
God, imagine if someone went back in time and gave Julius Caesar, a nuke.
That's a horrible thought.
We would probably only just be able to re-inhabit certain parts of France.
Yeah, he really didn't like the Gauls.
Oh, the Gaul of it.
Oh my god.
I wonder if that's where that comes from.
No, I think Gaul in that case comes from reference to one of the humors, which is why we call it the gallbladder.
Well, that's humorous.
Oh, also, Constellation. Welcome, first time chat. I do like the idea that you can do amateur brain surgery without a clean room, and Caesar doesn't die from FEV fungus.
Yeah.
Interesting. Also, welcome to WBPL 76, legally defined as entertainment.
Yes, you too can be an at-home surgeon with the Jeffrey Dahmer informational videotape.
We are the streaming arm of the Black Pants Legion. Hosting here is Crispy. I am Stormsong, and with us is our friend Andy.
Hello!
Join us on our Discord, the Auxiliary.
Yes.
Would you like to make funny, silly art? Do so with us on the MS Paint, the Good Ship MS Paint.
Watch as I draw a Ford Explorer doing what it does best.
Fix it again, Tony.
Nah, that's Fiat.
Look, I don't know cars. I'm just repeating the jokes I've heard.
I think Ford's is fix or repair daily or something. I was more familiar with how shitty Jeeps were.
Okay, son, I'm gonna tell you one of man's greatest secrets. The reason why you own 2 cars, one of them being cheap, is one day eventually you're gonna get tired of your wife, and you're...
Why do you sound like Rob Serling? Imagine, if you will, a bitch of a wife that won't stop nagging.
Imagine, if you will, you get the sudden urge to drive into a river.
Hey, man. Tuesdays are rough.
I miss Unsolved Mysteries.
I'd like to still watch it from time to time. I need to find the one where Matthew... That was...
I thought it would be funny if, like, you get random pictures of some of the members of the BPOD and you have that theme song playing while you get closer. You zoom in slowly to the picture.
Yeah, we could absolutely make that. We have the technology.
Did he actually eat peanut butter and spinach sandwiches, or is it something far worse?
I already
know
the quote, of course, but Quinless asks us to name the quote. Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausages? Daddy, would you like... I found buried treasure, Dad! That's soap on a rope, you dumbass!
You know, watch Freddy Got Fingered.
Such a strange movie.
Seth Green is just a strange dude. You ever see the sketch where he makes the statue of his parents having sex and puts it in the front yard of their house?
I mean, that movie was basically him just punishing the studio for giving him a budget.
Oh, so it's like Dan Aykroyd with Nothing But Trouble. You ever watch that movie? It's very Dan Aykroyd.
Is that the one where, like, they go to the weird family and they got the old man with his nose?
Yeah, that's the one with the penis nose.
Yeah, I was trying not to say it.
You know, fun fact about that movie. You know who makes his first on-screen appearance in that movie? Tupac.
Interesting.
Yeah, if you watch Nothing But Trouble, the scene where he's like playing the organ for the Digital Underground, who's the rap group that shows up.
The scene where he's playing. The scene where he's playing
organ. The organ, like he's playing that song, same song. Like, cause like Digital Underground shows up and he's just like, he'll let them out of his ticket or whatever if they can play music for him, and they start playing it, and then he starts playing the organ, and you can see Tupac in that scene just being like, oh, just like, because he was like a backup dancer, I think, for Digital Underground at the time, before he kind of went on his solo career. Well, his own career, I want to say. The fun things you learn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you know?
If you want a fun book on the history of rap, Original Gangsters is by Ben Westhoff is apparently a really good read.
Yes.
Also watch Nardwuar. Like, it's hilarious how he scares the shit out of him sometimes. That's right! You started this band when your aunt told you that you could do better! Yo, man, how'd you know? Whoa, this is a private conversation with her!
Who's tapped your phones?
What? Why is it that when you said we tapped your phones, you sounded briefly like Psyduck for a second?
Maybe I am Psyduck, you just don't know.
Oh,
maybe we're the same person.
Yeah,
we got a Tyler Durden situation.
Psyduck in the same room, huh?
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Why aren't you using the fill bucket? I'm joking.
I mean, I can actually give you an answer if you want me to.
Because it, like, eats away at, like, the lining a little bit.
Yeah, you don't get as clean of a... Like, for bigger stuff, I definitely will use the fill bucket. But for details, I like to do it myself.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, the fill bucket is not the most accurate. Definitely good for filling in stuff, though. Yeah. There we go. That's a fun thing about learning how to draw a cartoony style. You kind of learn just how to, like, indicate something with just little squiggles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny how the brain will kind of like do to half the work for you sometimes.
It really is. I've got a book on the subject of comics by Scott McCloud called Understanding understanding comics that really goes into like a lot of the interesting things about when it comes to making comics, just the sorts of ways you can express stuff in a way that is like easy to portray in like a single panel, you know. And oftentimes without dialogue. Alright, I will be right back.
Well, I was thinking just like how sometimes you remember the graphics on video games a lot better than they actually are. Like, one time I went back to play Final Fantasy VII, I was like, wow, this looked a lot better than... I thought it looked a lot better than this.
It probably legitimately did look better at the time. Because bear in mind, you're younger and your imagination could fill in a lot more.
Well, that was the point, yeah.
Yeah. But then also it was the newest such graphics you had ever seen.
Oh my god, it's in 3 dimensions!
3D! Constellation says, found out you guys had a stream via the BPL podcast, so yes, hello. Cool! Yeah, the podcast is good.
I haven't watched a podcast. I haven't done a lot of things in a while. I don't want to start bitching again. I've been doing that a lot lately.
Oh, it's okay.
I want to do things, but I'm too tired. Me.
I am back. I've been there as of late, Andy. So yeah, I think I'm gonna call it on this for now because I want to do more stuff to it, but I kind of want to just do some spaceship doodles. So.
I have an idea we could do for like Halloween or near Halloween-ish.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, save that because I would like to do like a whole month of spooky stuff. So.
Well, do bear in mind, Crispy, that you and I will be in Atlantis during Halloween.
Yes, that's right. We will be in location redacted for the meetup. Which.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, still, I do want to do like a bunch of spooky stuff in October, so and we'll have time for it. Just I would say maybe save it.
What's that game? It's like Farandango or something where you're the skeleton guy. Huh?
Grim Fandango.
Yeah, I was thinking that's the game we should get. That's the quote unquote spooky game we can trick Whacker to play.
Yeah.
We can
Looks
do
to
that.
the audience. Shh. None of you tell him.
Yeah, don't tell him.
Of course, if we do it right, we might be able to actually do a stream during the meetup. Because, I mean, nothing ever stops.
I think we talked about it. The only thing that would stop it is that my tablet's not exactly portable.
Well,
right, because you have one of those like proper.
I have a Cintiq, so it's not like an iPad where I can just take that with me. I need the software installed on it, and I need a computer to run it. So.
I can easily bring my microphone and my laptop that has everything I'm working on with it. So
I mean, if you want to do that too, that or I don't know who would be able to provide a tablet at the meetup. I'm not counting on that, but if that was an option. That or we find a way where I could just do it like traditional in a sketchbook, but...
I mean, we could rig up the camera, because Doc does that for his cooking stream. We'd have to ask to borrow the camera, of course, so it's all dependent on that, but...
Well, I don't have a super camera, but I have I don't want to say it's cheap, but I got like a 180K camera, but it's...
Andy, how do you know what I'm drawing right now?
Huh?
I'm working on the Mario Legion pictures, and I'm literally working on a cheap sheet right now.
Oh, well, that's fun. Yeah, I would be down to do a stream, at the meetup. It's just, we just got to figure out the logistics of it, because I'm not going to be able to bring this tablet with me. And honestly, I wouldn't want to, because I don't want to accidentally damage this in transit.
I got a question for my Mario character, and you can see it in this. You can see it's my icon. Which one is like the personality that's talking? Is it the Scarecrow or is it the Buzzy Beetle? Because
many have asked such questions, and few have ever gotten answers.
Yeah, what he said. Who do you do?
I think my assumption in that is the beetle is the actual.
Gotcha.
You know what's the best way to get rid of Beatles? All the points.
I knew that joke was going there, and
yeah. That's
Lennon read. I'm Paul McCartney. I'm John Lennon.
Is it too soon to make John Lennon jokes?
Lennon, no. McCartney, maybe.
Well, McCartney's just.
I thought he was still alive.
The only thing I think of when it comes to Paul McCartney is that one bit from the movie Walk Hard, which is like the parody of Walk the Line. And there's the whole scene where he meets the Beatles, and then like John Lennon's character, who I believe is played by Paul Rudd, is just like, Paul's a big fat cunt. I quote that line too often.
John Lennon, the biggest creep in the world.
He was an interesting dude. Apparently he got his shoes thrown up on once. That's fun.
When I say it's funny, I don't mean like malicious funny. I mean funny like strange funny, or
yeah.
not serendipitous, but
Yeah.
But like, I think it's going to be funny if Ringo is the last surviving Beatles member.
It would be kind of funny, just considering. Also, have you guys seen his MS Paint art?
Yes, yeah, baby.
It's fucking glorious. I was actually I think I've said before, I was a fraternity in college, and we had our like spring formal at this one hotel in town, and literally like it's like the I guess you'd call it like the ballroom or whatever we had it in. They had a Ringo Starr MS Paint painting up. I hope it was the original, but I was just like, I saw that, it was just like, yeah.
Lol.
I would totally get a Ringo Starr painting, but I feel like they're like ridiculously expensive because it's Ringo.
Yep.
Well, if you think about it, all his art is digital, so.
I mean, that's actually just a whole interesting conversation that I've had with other artists about the whole idea of digital versus traditional, which, if I'm honest, I think that debate has kind of fallen by the wayside with the advent of AI, because people are just, at this point, just like, just make stuff yourself. And you know what, that's kind of my mantra, just find a way to make stuff yourself, just don't use AI, learn how to do stuff yourself, you'll feel much more gratified in doing it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm going to say on it, because I feel like I ran on the subject too much, but anyway. But yeah, like, when I started doing a lot of this like art, a lot of the art and everything more seriously a couple years ago, I think it was like 2017, 2018, I did talk to like other artists. I had my one friend who kind of was my entry point to getting into this stuff that I talked to about it. He's definitely more a traditional guy. And I learned some things from him too, which was nice, but I tended to draw more digital. A lot of it mostly is because of time, because it's a lot easier to draw digitally versus traditional. It cuts out a lot of these sort of, I guess, touching up work you'd have to do. At least in my instance. I might be better with that now, if I'm honest. But you kind of get what I'm saying. It definitely helps expedite things. But I know there's certain artists that don't necessarily agree with the traditional stuff. Or not traditional, digital stuff. Because there was one guy I talked to at these cons, and... what was his name? Hold on. Oh, Kent Hunt. He's done work for like DC and stuff, and he's a guy that I've seen at a few cons, and I talked to him once or twice, and I remember the one time he told me the story about like an artist that was trying to sell some of his work, and the guy wanted to pay him all this money for it, but as soon as the guy heard that it was digital, like the price went down drastically. And I'm sure that's a horror story and stuff, but I suppose that also applies if you want to sell like the original pieces of your art, which... I wouldn't mind doing that. I do have some pieces in my portfolio that originally started as traditional artwork, which I do have, the original art of it still. I don't think I'd sell it personally, but that's more of a sentimental thing. But, I suppose that really just only matters if you want to sell the original prints. As far as digital goes, I definitely think it's far more the sort of preferred for a lot of artists these days. Not to say that... traditional isn't worth looking into, but...
Haleon tells us that he is going to see McCartney in November. Mr. No Talk says, if digital art is cheaper, it should only be because of the material cost.
That's Yeah, no, and I'm with you there. Obviously I've got no problems doing digital art considering you're literally watching me do it right now. But I would say that's really the only monetary difference outside of like if you're exclusively trying to sell, the original physical copy. In that case, I get obviously doing traditional, but even then, you could take. I took my traditional stuff and I touched it up on the computer and cleaned it up before I colored it. The important part is you're making it yourself, you're drawing it yourself, and you're using techniques. I could take a lot of what I do here with drawing, and I could transfer that directly to paper. Actually, as a matter of fact, I think I draw a lot more loose on paper, just because I tend to do a lot of my sketching traditionally, just because I just really love the feeling of drawing on paper. That it's something that digital is never going to be able to replace. But also, it's a good way to just kind of rough out like really quick ideas without getting, because the temptation of just going back and touching stuff up digitally is very alluring, but it's not great if you're trying to sort of rough out stuff, because then you'll just get hung up on something and then just spend too much time trying to polish up something that really can just be a rough and you can kind of move on from. Actually, I do have an example of just sort of the sketching that I do in my sketchbooks. Is like this. For one thing, I do draw in pen, and that's originally I more started doing that just because I didn't want my stuff to smudge, because I used to deal with that a lot. Of course, nowadays I'd probably spray over it with like a cover spray, but that's why I originally started doing pen. But also, it flows a lot nicer, I want to say.
And also, for those of you out there that are just starting out and are doing sketchbook drawings, a good way to do cover spray is to just grab some hairspray. Hairspray is definitely like a solid option. They do make like matte cover sprays you can get at like Michael's and stuff, which is what I tend to use. But that's also, what I went with because it was available in college. I know our my drawing teacher definitely suggested hairspray, but I don't really use hairsprays, so I went with what was available. Definitely an option though. Completely.
So, yeah. Like when it comes to drawing, I would say, it doesn't matter so much what you're using. It just matters it just matters of doing it. You can find all sorts of ways to draw and like do stuff.
Yeah.
Like I think I mentioned the one time. I don't know if I mentioned it on stream or not, but there was one time. I did like a live figure drawing class. I've done a couple of them, but the one time I went to this one, it was really interesting because there was a guy there doing the figure drawings. But the way that he was doing them was he was using a paintbrush, but not the paintbrush end. He was using the opposite end of the brush, the hard, the handle end, essentially, like the tip of the handle end. He was like dipping it in paint and sort of doing like a scribble sort of drawing with it. And you'd think that would be, kind of bizarre and stuff, but it was actually just really interesting to see how things turned out with it. Like, it was very much like an abstract sort of drawing style, but
experimentalism and all that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with like trying to experiment around and try different stuff.
I mean, there's some artists that like sell their stuff and they painted it on a canvas of cardboard.
Oh yeah, too. I mean that honestly, I kind of like that when people do that. I wouldn't mind doing that myself, but I think part of why I don't is just because
Did you do this to send a message to send about the recycling and all that? No, I did it because I was poor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like whatever materials you can get to draw on, like what I actually used to draw on before I really started getting sketchbooks for myself is my dad brought home like these big like things of timesheets from where he worked that had a blank backing to them, and it's just like they were ones that I think they were either old timesheets or people just weren't using them because they were surplus or something. But I drew on those for a long time before I really got to using sketchbooks. I really only started to draw on sketchbooks in like high school, believe it or not.
Yeah. It pretty similar. It wouldn't be till like middle school that I started using a sketchbook properly.
Yeah, like middle high school, I want to say. But yeah, a lot of my drawings and stuff, which I still have plenty of folders of my old drawings somewhere. Maybe one day I'll do a slideshow just to see where I originally used to be at. But a lot of that was on those sorts of timesheet papers, and I mean I didn't care. I was having fun.
Yeah.
I was just glad to have paper to draw on.
Yep. Yeah, no, I definitely had the period of, like, drawing on whatever paper Dad brought home from the company. Because printer paper and all that, and since he was a computer engineer, they, they let him use leftover printer paper for stuff.
It used to not be cheap. It was so much more expensive back then.
Yep. But like all things.
Yep.
Quinlist asks, is this a rifle for a mech? Will it have a sniper sight on it again?
No, that's a ship, actually.
Oh. Oh, yeah, it's that gun as ship design. I do love that.
Like I love... it's kind of based off the frigate from Halo, but I love that design so much.
There was some Humanity stories. There was a series of it where, like, humans keep making guns into ships, and, like, there's this one alien that keeps going... He's just going mad because... he keeps running into these situations where it's fixed by the humans showing up with a ship that literally is nothing but a giant rifle with engines on the back.
That was my favorite thing. Like that's like all the human ships in Halo are essentially built around just like a giant railgun, and it's because it's the only thing that can like clap through a Covenant shield. Because if you fire like a minivan-sized projectile at something, I don't care what it is, it's gonna give.
Yeah.
Something's gotta give.
That is one of the places where I actually agree with you on the whole force field thing in a lot of sci-fi it's like...
yeah.
At some point, force field should not be invincible, and that's for good guy or bad guy. It kind of worked for the Borg a little bit, but the Borg was like a scary new thing when it came out, so it was like they're adapting, that was going to be the big horrifying thing about them.
And in that case, that makes sense,
But past that, like, it just got dreary after some point.
Yeah.
Well,
like, it's one of those things that definitely needs a limit.
I would almost argue, like, force fields are probably like Kevlar or armor in general. It's like, would you rather have it or not have it? At that point, like.
No, it's like it's more perspective of like sometimes settings will treat force fields like it's an invincible thing, but it's like it's Star Trek how it's like they will tell you what the percentage of the shield is down at, and honestly, I think it's kind of fallen by the wayside that, and now most shields tend to have limits on them, which they should.
They kind of had that in War of the Worlds, and I think that was a kind of like showing like just the absolute gap in technologically advancement that humans had versus the aliens.
I like everything obviously has like an asterisk on like whether or not you can do it. If you can write it in a way where it makes sense, then by all means, like it makes sense in War of the Worlds because. And also, you got to remember when War of the Worlds was originally written. It was like the 1800s, so the idea of an invincible force field kind of makes sense back then because we really hadn't seen the sorts of destructive power that we were capable of unleashing.
I think originally in the story it took place around like World War One or Napoleonic era. So
yeah, it's like
I think the book like the strongest thing they go up against is like the Thunder Child, right?
Yeah, the gun, like it's a gunboat or something, or like a gun corvette, something like that. I forget exactly, but yeah. Oh, excuse me. Oh God, I just had a peanut butter cup and the crumbs are in my throat. Oh God.
Of course, we kind of did that in Independence Day too.
Yeah.
I would say something that would be more dangerous than a force field would be like some form of kinetic dampener, especially if we use like. Slug fields. You have something different for like lasers and stuff that require heat.
Yeah, but at a certain point, when it comes to a lot of that stuff, like it just becomes gratuitous. Like it makes sense for something like Independence Day or War of the Worlds because it's like it's supposed to be a movie about us going up against a like all-powerful, seemingly invincible foe. It'd be different if there was invincible shields in something like Star Wars, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how you get shit like the Sun Crusher. Um, which, oh god. But yeah, I would say it's very much situational in terms of how you use it, and I think the best way to go about it in most sci-fi settings is like Storm said, making it so it's got like a limited charge or something, because it makes the most sense, really.
And I'm also not just talking about what would you call it? Stuff that the heroes are using, but also oftentimes the stuff that is being used by the bad guys, because there comes a point a lot of times where basically you can kind of end up Mary Sueing your villains.
Absolutely. Oh, plot armor works both ways. It's absolutely not just a hero thing.
And it's just like, I don't like things that make me feel like I'm being asked to give something unearned drama.
That's kind of my problem with a lot of 40k.
You know,
to open that can of worms.
Weird though, because there are two villains that I could think of that very much, or even three. Like there are some villains that, if you think about it, they are very much Mary Sue 'em. But that's the thing about a villain. You know, you like a tough villain because that kind of makes the struggle of the hero even greater. Like Darth Vader, Sauron, even Sephiroth. Like they're stronger than they necessarily have to be.
There's a tough villain, and then there's a villain that has like no weakness whatsoever.
I think they get away with it because they've got swagger.
Well, there's that, but there's also just like, is the villain able to do this because the plot demanded it, or is there like a logic behind this?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, is sorry, slow thinking right now. It kind of comes to, is overcoming the villain going to actually be a matter of the character growing, changing, getting better, etc., or are they just going to scream and get more powerful?
Yeah. It's like I said earlier, you know, it really, a lot of this stuff depends on the sorts of story you're writing, and it's like,
a lot of
how you want to tell it,
because we have been so inundated by Japanese like material and all that. Like I think now that I remember it, a lot of like old Western hero tropes was like you have to find the thing that could defeat the evil.
The MacGuffin, yeah, like
you have to find like
TV tropes exist for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, and to be fair, there's nothing wrong with tropes. It's just a matter of how you handle them. You know, I would say, because it's you know, you could use tropes, but it's very easy to just like overuse tropes.
Yeah,
you know,
like
I'm sure,
like the 2000s, where it was none but zombie movies, over and over and over again.
Well, and then that's not even just an overused trope; that's an overused genre at that.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. But like when I say trope, I mean like, you know, like a Deus Ex Machina in a movie or something. Like how many movies?
The only zombie movie I showed interest in watching was Cold Bodies, I think it was, and the idea was like
Warm Bodies. Yeah, that.
Yeah,
movie.
the idea was like if a zombie fell in love or something, it could reverse itself or something.
You see, okay, because that's different. A lot of times, the problem with zombie movies is, like, okay, so this gets into a whole bit of, like, meta-narrative theory here. But, like, if you watch a zombie movie, you can kind of tell what is at the moment, the social bad that the author is wanting to make a point about. And so, like, you look at, you know, zombie movies, like, as it's a way to dehumanize people so you can treat them like monsters.
Yeah. Well, in a lot of zombie movies, they eventually come to the point where it's like, we know how to deal with the zombies, but it's other humans that we have to really watch out for, because like they want to show up and take your resources, and you know,
that's a whole other thing. Yeah,
and that's
some humans are just psychopaths. It's like, oh, I can use this as an excuse to treat actual people as, you know, animals.
Well, and then that works until everyone does that as a thing.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not going to by any means claim to be an expert at tropes or anything like that. I think it just really kind of goes with, like, you know, I guess go with your gut in a sense when you're writing stuff, and also don't be afraid to get kind of like peer feedback. Not that you have to take everything somebody says to heart, but you get the idea.
I wonder if there's a story where it's a zombie apocalypse and like it turns out maybe after like 2 years, like there's a good chance that a zombified human will like they'll still be like horrendous looking and all that, but they'll regain their senses and stop being violent. It's like basically they're like a ghoul or something like that. It's like
and Andy, that is
the original. I Am Legend. That's the original plot of I Am Legend.
Oh,
yeah. And the main character still keeps killing them, and then there comes a point where they've captured him, and he realizes he's the monster, and they and their children are afraid of him. And that's when the closing line, as they're about to hang him, is "I am Legend."
Yeah. You see, I know that series mostly not from I Am Legend, but from the oh crap, I forgot his
Omega
name.
Man.
Huh?
Is Omega Man?
It might have been. It was crap. Yeah, it's that old horror movie guy. It's like, oh, hello today.
Vincent Price.
Vincent Price. It was from the movie he was in, and they didn't come across as zombies. They were like vampires.
Yeah. Like No Talk brings it up of like, I don't really know zombie directors enough to say which one was which, but like the first zombie movies were like Commie is bad, then Capitalist's bad, then you get to all the way up to what was it, Walking Dead, where it's like People bad.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of superhero comics were like, where'd they get the powers? Well, from the latest science that we have absolutely no idea from. Like, I think there was a superhero who got his powers from like being electrocuted on an electric fence.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There was a lot of stuff like that.
Absolutely.
There's a superhero that connects to the internet because they inhaled nanite gas or internet gas.
They got Galaxy Gas off Amazon and they can plug into the 5G.
I hate that.
Oh God! What was...
You can see it though, right?
Shit! Oh, what was the villain? My manager said something the other day that made me think of a villain. Oh. Rock Cough. Yeah.
What does he do besides, cough like the singer of Disturbed when he's singing Down with the Sickness?
He'd be a Sonic user, like when he screams and shit.
I thought you were going to say he'd be a Sonic fan. I was like, oh no.
Let's not go there.
Let me tell you about Sacha.
I've got a medallion for you.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If you don't know what we're referencing, good. Just good. Don't
keep it that way. Keep it that way.
So you don't believe in superstition in any fin, huh? Huh? Yeah, you think all that's bullshit? Okay, well, here, put this medallion on. What's the matter? No, put it on. Go on.
No, you cannot convince me to put that on. The only thing I'm putting it into is a fire with a priest chants in, like, Latin.
Here, hug this Raggedy Ann doll. Go ahead, touch it.
That's, I think the Annabelle movies would have been a lot better if they just made it a Raggedy Ann doll rather than I'm in the background of a Disturbed music video doll that we got. That doll looks so fucking new metal. It was lame. Might as well give it the chin strap beard of Fred Durst. Okay, there's a Photoshop I need to make later.
Do it.
Just turn Annabelle into Fred Durst, the doll. I'll fucking do it. She just upped her kill count not too long ago, apparently.
See, it's stuff like that makes me wonder if there is some sort of shared meta knowledge, human meta knowledge, or something like that. Like,
well, I
like the space orcs, where like if enough start believing in something, it kind of starts becoming real. Like mass hypnosis and shit like that.
Well, I mean, I think that speaks to the idea of the collective unconscious, which is something that I sort of subscribe to. It's just that sort of like subconscious link that we as humans all share. At least that's the idea, from my rough understanding.
that is one of the two ways to interpret the concept of collective subconscious.
The
other is that it is the comprised like instincts that we all share. So maybe not a literal psychic connection, but like we are wired, for example, as primates, to see a snake moving.
Yeah.
And our instinct to recoil is already baked into our brain before our conscious mind takes over and stops us.
Okay.
Well, that might speak to the idea of, genetic memory and stuff, which,
Well, actually, I got a wild thing to throw across if you're willing. Okay, well, sorry. Am I interrupting?
No.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go, my dude.
So we know that your genes can, like, change. Like...
Yeah, epigenetics.
Yeah, like what I mean is like not like birth. It's like something can happen to actually change your genes within, right?
So if it's let me just qualify this here. It's not so much that the gene itself changes; it's that the genes have, for lack of a better term, like binary on and off positions. And so you create a situation where the gene is more likely to wake up and become active.
Yeah, something like that.
Let's say let's say for some reason, like, people start some kind of weird theory about green rocks are poisonous.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, like, if you hear it enough, and if it's spread enough via mouth, like, in a weird way, it becomes genetic that we become scared of green rocks. Like, it actually becomes something in our DNA that actually passes down to our children, even though we didn't have it previously. Like the on and off switch in a set of genes or something switches on, or the genetic sequence is created in multiple people because of this. Like the locust situation, where if there's too many locusts, they turn into those horrible monsters. Like something like that could happen in humanoids. Like we have a social gene in certain circumstances to anything that'll switch on, and then it'll be passed down. Like, yeah, be afraid of green rocks because they'll make your kidneys fall out of your sides.
Rooster Buffalo asks, anyone remember Light Grenade from that kind of bad movie from the 90s? Not sure what you're talking about, my dude. As to your point, Andy, I don't know if it exactly works like that, though that would be interesting, and I'm not poo-pooing that it works like that.
I'm not saying that it is a thing. I'm saying as a thought experiment to consider it.
Well, that's kind of going back to I was saying the idea of genetic memory being a thing, and that kind of is what I was thinking in terms of it, is just like, just past human experience has affected like a generation enough where it sort of imprinted its instinctually onto.
I have a term to call it: genetic persuasion.
Maybe,
You know what? This is getting into Outlast territory if you think about it.
I've not played Outlast, but I'll take your word for it.
A lot of it is like, you hear about those Russian experiments where like they keep the guy alive and then he starts transforming shit?
I've heard about some Russian experiments. They've involved a lot of monkeys and making
basically it's
monkey man hybrids.
They start like doing weird stuff to people, and they start like forming some sort of like not psychoanalytic, but just they're the vast like mental shenanigans, that torturing and all that they've been going through is starting to manifest itself into reality. And it starts actually transforming people.
Vladimir, what if we play song? I received song from Capitalist West called Baby Shark. What if we play for convicts in Gulag? You think they spill secrets?
Start getting like shark teeth and start eating people.
See, that's like a Tulpa type shit. That sounds kind of like a fun movie.
I was thinking like, Tulpa as we were talking about this.
Yeah.
I mean that's a whole other discussion, is Tulpas, which, oh god, I don't know if we want to get into that.
Well, I mean, where do you think the idea of the whole like orc meta war thing came from? It's a, I'm not going to say it's a real thing, but it's it's an observed phenomenon that people are like.
It's like a lot of the more esoteric stuff. A lot of esoteric stuff is based off of one thing or another. You know, the best example I can think of is if you know who Madame Blavatsky was. She was essentially this sort of like occultist studying noblewoman from like the 1800s, originally from Russia, who essentially a lot of what she put together, which also was based off of previous things, went on to inspire a lot of things, including like David Bowie, for instance. You know, a lot of his sort of like occult stuff that he put into his work was inspired by her, or just it's honestly kind of staggering, just like how much her work has influenced the course of the 20th century.
I mean, there is the term, the power of suggestion.
Well, I mean, one of the people whose work her work influenced, and unfortunately was taken greatly out of context, was someone called Adolf Hitler. But that's a whole other conversation that I don't think we want to get into.
Yeah, no, we'll move on.
But I just more say that to bring up the idea of like this is a person who's sort of like ideas sort of rippled out, and you know, of course, it was like written in books and stuff, but it's just sort of like that sort of thing of like one thing built off another, sort of making this fabric of esoteric knowledge.
Yep. Also, I finished my drawing of tactical tuna fish.
Ooh, I wish to see. Hold on, I will share it with stream. Oh, that's pretty good, Storm. I like that.
He's a tactical tuna cheat sheet.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
If I didn't actually believe that RPG Maker was cursed and will always destroy whatever system that I downloaded on, I'd love to.
I want to hear this. I want to hear this because that is the first I've ever heard of RPG Maker being cursed.
You know, playing Final Fantasy games, you know, I'd get the urge to. I want to make my own RPG, and I've had a lot of my computers because I have an uncle who's a chemist, and as a hobby, he would build computers and just send them off to us. Like, he'd build a computer and then just send them to a family member. And I got my fair share, and I'd use them to play video games on. And it just so happens that in the life cycle of my PCs, where I started playing, you know, considering playing around with RPG Maker, not too long after the PC just dies. And the last thing it happened to was, quote, to my own fault, a cheap laptop. And this was, you know, I was going through a time where I didn't have internet. I just had like, how did I download it? I went, you know, I'd go off, but you know, it just stops working. It crashes. Like the screen starts becoming rainbow colors and all that. And I'm like every time, because I was even thinking of this before that, and I'm just like every time.
Ethan the Booze Wizard has just given us 69 bits.
Hey, nice.
Every time I put RPG Maker on a computer, I start playing around with it, the computer breaks. So I'm like, I'm not ever putting an RPG Maker game on my computer ever again. Because I just...
Yeah. I certainly can't fault you for viewing it as cursed in that instance.
Now, it's more likely that it's either got a virus on it, but then again, more people would be arguing on it, or it's just some sort of weird bad luck that I have, or just something that I'm falsely equivalating to. But still, I stand by my decision. I'm not downloading RPG Maker.
I mean, it's not necessarily unheard of for a program to brick computers. Like, I think that happened with Myth 2, if I remember Mandalore's video.
A lot of early video games, they didn't have a lot of interaction with the major companies, so like you did have games that would like brick computers because of their interaction with the operating system.
Yeah. So it may very well be that program is cursed in the sense that, you know, it's got a bug to it, but
well, this
honestly,
is going across multiple systems and different iterations of the RPG Maker. And if it would happen to me enough at that level, it should happen enough to other people. So
yeah, it's weird.
I mean, at that point, I would not call that an unreasonable assessment.
Yeah. Either way, I can totally understand why you wouldn't use it.
I mean, if you went to the ocean like 8 times, and every time you went to the ocean you got stung by something and thought, I'm not going into the ocean, it wouldn't be unreasonable to say, oh,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen a ninth time.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I find it agreeable because while I'm not superstitious, I'm a bit stitious.
Sometimes
Also,
it pays to be
Suspicious, but I
paranoid.
can recognize patterns.
also, Andy.
Yes.
So you know how I'm doing all these Mario pictures of the Legionnaires?
Yes.
Guess who I just got to?
Whacker?
Crispy and Whacker.
Yay!
You know what time it is?
I'm concerned where this is gonna go.
Into my pants.
What?
Uh,
Oh, it's gonna be that kind of Mario art, is it?
no, princess. Let me see your peach.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
That's a good peach. What other kind of fruit do you have in your plant orchard? Oh, I got apples and cherries.
Oh.
So granted, I have not. I've only been posting them in the WBPL staff chat. They will get posted fully at some point, but I want them all to be done first.
Understandable.
I'm trying to get them all done by Christmas. It's going to be all the WBPL and Beeple Studios members, discounting the ones that wish to remain somewhat more private. But basically anyone who's a public-facing member of the Legion. And it's for a video that I'm doing for the Christmas dump. But you shall see.
Why do I feel like Whacker and I are going to be some sort of two-headed Goomba just argue with itself?
Do you want me to tell you what yours is?
I kind of want it to be a surprise.
Okay.
I'm honest.
Do you want me to tell you what Whacker's is?
Yes.
So if you know the Mario games, you know Mouser, right?
Is that the mouse rat thing?
Yeah, that steals shit from you.
Yeah. Vaguely.
So
Like if it's Paper
that-
Mario, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that, but green,
Yeah.
and with an exceedingly long white beard.
Excellent. Excellent. Hopefully Whacker doesn't find out. It's a good thing we didn't just record ourselves telling everyone what it's gonna be.
Yeah, you know Whacker doesn't watch this stream.
Whacker doesn't know how to read.
Whacker learned to read.
Shit, man!
He's gonna come in here.
Well,
and
Whacker
start-
knows how to read. It's just in cuneiform is the problem.
He's gonna
After the whole
start. He's gonna
Babylon
come in here. He's gonna come
After
in
the whole
here and start
Babel
yelling at
incident,
us.
he kind of just got frustrated. Shit, man.
He's gonna come in here and yell at us in ancient Sumerian like it's Evil Dead. There's a movie I need to watch again.
Yeah.
Have
I
you
also wanna
seen Have you seen Legend?
Legends of the Hidden Temple?
No, Legend with Tim Curry as Darkness, aka Satan.
I have not.
All right, that's one of the movies I need to show you.
I'll watch it. Would you stream me? I'd stream me.
Extremely hard.
What is light without darkness?
That
Thank you.
absolutely sounds like a character Tim Curry would play.
Yes.
Dude, you have to see him. He's got like 8-foot horns.
I think I've seen it, but I also might be confusing it with Dave Grohl as Satan in Tenacious D, because I've definitely seen that picture as well.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's. I would be
there might-
surprised if that's very much an inspiration from it.
There
because-
might be a bit of an overlap. Also, now I want to see a devil movie, but it's Danny DeVito
Also,
in one
Bulk
of those like,
says
cheap
that,
Walmart costumes.
Bulk says that he's just clipped our conversation and sent it to Whacker via carrier pigeon, of course.
Well, it'll get there when it gets there.
Snitch! Snitch!
We got at least like a day to prepare for it, so I'll get the
Snitches get
earplugs.
switches. We sent him a Nintendo Switch.
Storm, you get like the jar of buttons we're gonna throw down because he has to stop and count them like the troll that he is.
I think it's supposed to be rice.
I don't remember. I'm just gonna say buttons because it's funnier.
Chinese vampires, like, if you throw rice on the ground, they're compelled to count it.
Actually, you know why I said buttons? Because I was thinking of like those tins of sugar cookies that grandmas always put their sewing shit into.
You broke up.
Oh, I said I was the reason I said buttons was because I was thinking of those tins that grandmas put their sewing stuff into.
Yeah.
So it's fitting.
Nah, for Wacko, it would be Werther's Originals. Man, shit! I gotta count all these.
Starts eating a few. Oh man, I gotta start over.
I remember there was this, like, TV. I remember there was this episode. I forgot it was, but like they were at a carnival, and they go to one of these like bean counters, and everybody does a guess, and the dad like makes a guess, and he's the closest one. He's like within like. He's just within such a margin that it's like, wow. And, they're asking, like, Dad, how did you know? And he's like, oh, well, I have my abilities. And then, like, they show back, and he's, like, walking behind the carnival, and he sees the number of boxes that they have.
Clever
and
girl.
He's like, well, if each box has 500 beans in it, and they've got 6 boxes, and, they're going to eat a few,
See? Those are the scenarios that math class told me I would need to be prepared for, and then they never happen.
Yep.
And I'm like, damn it.
Look, higher math is for accounting and space travel.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm not good enough to do either of those things.
Do you think you're going to have a calculator in your pocket all the time when you get older? Kicks down the teacher's door, shows her your iPhone. What's this, motherfucker?
Yeah, I was going to say, as a matter of fact, teacher, yes. What do they say these days?
What's this? Pulls open a drawer. It's like copy-paste lesson plans.
Don't describe my secret.
Just pulls open a drawer and
okay, I know students have been using it, but I wonder if there's like a teacher that's used a lesson plan.
I guarantee you there's been one lazy teacher that's done that.
So, not to write the lesson plan, but to help me structure it, yes.
Well, that's different. Doing editing is one thing, because editing is a pain in the ass.
We're definitely not coming to this assumption because you're our friend and we're biased against it.
Oh, I'm not biased at AI at all. Definitely not. It's not like you can go back through multiple streams and hear me yelling about it.
I'm not biased against my AI because it keeps telling me it loves me. Unlike anyone else I know.
I love you.
If my calculator starts speaking to me, it's going in the fucking tub.
Fuck you. You're just going to put a Furby costume on.
I am going to waterboard that calculator till it spills state secrets. That's what I'm going to do.
You find out that it's this calculator that's been spreading secrets about the whatever. You find out your calculator has Day Thunder or whatever the hell it is on there.
It's going to tell me where Osama bin Coin is, or Bitcoin is.
Osama Bitcoin. Osama Bitcoin, what's that? Every time you spend it, it goes...
Okay.
I'm kind of glad that just cut out for me. Maybe Twitch won't be mad. Speaking of, like, ATMs, actually, did you guys ever go to, like, one of those gas stations where when they scan, like, your card or something, it does, like, the sonic ring noise?
You talking about the sonic ring sound?
Yeah, exactly. I had that happen to me once or twice, and I'm just like, huh?
I think it has something to do with Capcom, like, owning something in that department. Like,
interesting.
Not Capcom, but I don't know. I don't know the actual truth, but it that's what I don't know.
Sega. Who owns Sonic?
Yeah. No, Nintendo owns Sonic now.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, you didn't know that? Or
no.
Okay, is this another cow brain thing? Am I wrong?
I would honestly be very surprised if Nintendo
pretty sure
owns
Sega
Sonic.
is dead. And like,
no, Sega's still around as a game design company. They just don't make whatchamacallits anymore. They don't make
yeah, they're like who's the company that made Metal Gear Solid? They just do pachinko stuff now, don't they?
Yeah, no, Sega's still around.
I was gonna say, I feel like they wouldn't have died off. I feel like I would have heard about it more if it had.
Also, Crispy, you've been quoted.
What
I'm
did
gonna
they say?
waterboard that calculator until it starts spilling state secrets.
Well, I stand by that statement.
You crack open the gas pump computer and it's running on an old Sega Genesis.
That would be incredible, honestly. Like, I ain't even mad. At least I know my card's not gonna get swiped. It's too old for that.
You know, it's going to get real hard for me to get you to play Vector Man because it's not available on Steam anymore, I don't think.
What is Vector Man?
It's from the, like, PS1 era.
Yeah. It was on a PS1, and it was a robot garbage collector comes back to Earth and finds out that a sentient warhead has taken over all of cybernetic life. And it's declared war against humans, and he's the only one that could stop it. And he's kind of Mega Man-ish.
So it was one of those games where they were like, we can make Mega Man ourselves.
It's cleverer than that, but that could have been the source.
I mean, I've never heard of the game, so I'll definitely take your word that it's probably more clever than.
He's like Mega Man and Rayman mixed together, and you'll understand if you look at him.
Interesting.
It's definitely from that. What would you describe it? It's that era of games that are like, Rayman and Crash Bandicoot and.
Yeah, like what would
everybody's got to make their own like
era?
platformer.
Yeah, the platformer era. Yeah, very much of its time.
Yeah, I'd agree. So,
time. What is time? 3D, I wish I
3D
knew. 3D
kind of like 3D didn't necessarily kill platforming, but it definitely sucked the wind out of its sails. I want to say.
Hobgood Roos. Hello. I too like Mega Man.
Mega Man.
I love Mega Man.
I never played a Mega Man game, but I love his design.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to the Proto Men.
They actually based whole 2 of their albums off of Mega Man.
Yeah, I kind of figured when I was listening to the lyrics, I'm like, this is talking about Mega Man related stuff a lot.
And I know a hero will come.
Yeah, see?
And all of your heroes are gone.
All right, Mega Man, you defeated me. Hey, take me to jail. No, Dr. Royley.
He just pulls out
There's no jail for you this time. Like you see a gun charging up.
This isn't just a meme, Crispy. This is what happens in Mega Man 7, is at some point he concludes, I'm endangering other people if I let you live. My prerogative is to protect people. And, like, he starts charging up to kill Dr. Wily.
Wow, a reasonable hero.
I'll take his arms and leg. Well, no, he'd build them.
But then,
was this RimWorld?
And then right before he can kill him, Bass and Trouble rescue Dr. Wily.
Oh.
Because the story has to go on, but at some point you have to concede that, like, yeah, he's basically 12, and yeah, he's going to have the whole, like, the hero doesn't kill people thing, but I think by the 7th time you see the genocidal maniac kill bunches of innocent people and constantly drag your father's name through the mud, you'd probably be ready to kill too.
Yeah, he'd be charging up his Mega Blaster as Alice in Chains the Rooster starts playing.
Yep.
Yeah, they come to
Whenever I see you building, painting, or drawing spaceships, it keeps making me think of that story I had where some sort of weird, like, cosmic wave goes across the galaxy and, like, all organic sentient life is destroyed, but their consciousness is somehow fused into the nearest machine.
Interesting.
And so you have, like, ships that have, like, a human consciousness, or you have, like, robots.
Is this the origin story behind the movie Cars?
No. But imagine a spaceship that has, like,
no kidding,
multiple consciousness in them, and they're, like, stuck inside.
I mean, I like that idea. That sounds fun. I could work with that.
Yeah.
I might work with that. We'll see.
So, to your point, Mr. Hobgood Roos, when I was growing up, I lived in a very sheltered household, so like I did not, have much context for music outside of like church music or maybe some Weird Al here and there, some country music. Um, but then somehow in high school, I got really into heavy metal, and I just had to try to figure out like why is it that my friend shows me one album and I fall in love with this genre immediately. And then like I start diving into heavy metal, and then at some point I go back to play some old video games like Mega Man X and Dynasty Warriors, and I'm like, oh, I was already into this.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know, my music tastes kind of, I want to say, for a lack of a better term, blossomed when I went to college. Because
it often does.
Yeah. It's I very much like you. Like, my music tastes were somewhat sheltered till high school, and even then it was like, well, I want to say that was sheltered because I was listening to stuff like Linkin Park and Breaking Ben and things when I was like middle school and everything. So
my taste in music is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, it really just like in the past couple of years I've just really started branching out into like all this stuff. Like, I've really gotten to like old school punk music and just like all this older music from like the 70s and things. Anyway, sorry, Andy, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I don't know. I'm confused. I don't even say I have a taste in music. I like what I like. Like,
yeah, there's nothing wrong.
I mean, I could say that. Oh yeah, I like metal and this and that, but I like what I like. It's hard to put my thumb on it.
I mean, I'm the same way. I've got songs that I listen to where it's just like, I'm not necessarily a fan of this band, but for some reason, like, I like this song,
Yeah. I mean, there's AI covers that I absolutely love. It's weird.
That's about where I draw the line, but not to get back into that. But yeah, I get you.
I like. Sometimes I like to go back and listen to the Ground Control and Major Tom done by Moonbase
covers
Alpha.
is different. I thought you were talking about like just straight AI generated songs, but
I mean like Plankton singing Pot and shit like that.
Oh no, yeah, that's fucking great. Listen to Plankton sing "Tools the Pot," but no, the Moonbase.
That's a shit.
Go ahead.
That's not a problem.
AI for shitpost is fine. I get problems with it when people try to use it as the only source of making stuff. But that's a whole. But I don't want to get back into that subject again because again, I feel like I'm harping that too much.
Sometimes I like shitpost music because "Welcome to the Internet" is a pretty catchy song.
I love listening to the Moonbase acapella. It's actually really good.
There's a guy that does a whole bunch of Moonbase Alpha covers.
Nice. That or like I like the MIDI music from Space Station. Like Tintin on the Moon. I love that cover in Space Station. Yeah, I've just found all this interesting music, just kind of like magpieing it together. It's just weird to explain how I found a lot of this stuff, because it's like, two of my favorite bands are Clutch and Queens of the Stone Age, and I really started like learning about them and like listening to them because I heard both of their songs in game trailers. Like, it's just interesting the places I found some of this music.
I guess if I had to like, gun to the head, it wouldn't have to necessarily be a gun to the head, but like if I had to say, if someone just like, oh come on, just two of your favorite bands, I'd be like, okay, Queen and Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I mean, favorites can definitely change. I'm not as much as I love Queens of the Stone Age and Clutch. It's like there's plenty of other great music out there I love listening to that I would consider favorites. It's hard to pick like a top favorite for me.
Hey, Super Chief.
It's Super Chief. He's Super Chief. He's Super Chiefy.
Yeah.
I really want to find that Looney Tunes bit where, I think Bugs Bunny goes, "It's the Super Chief," and then a giant train comes through.
I definitely feel like that was an actual train somewhere. I mean, there was the Big Boy, which I love that thing.
Oh, they had a period in time where like the trains, they got funny names and all that,
Oh yeah. No doubt about that.
I think I remember seeing one where they were these like two guys were talking about how insane the power behind a train that had to carry Big Bertha was.
Oh, I'm sure. Did you guys know that we used to like crash trains into each other as like a form of entertainment?
I wonder, I wonder if back then they weren't really that expensive to make or something like that.
I honestly, I think they were definitely very expensive to make. Like, there's a reason we have railroad barons. But if you look up, I think it's called the Crash at Crush. That's a good example, like the best known example I think of. Like, they literally built a town to crash two trains into, and people came to watch. Entertainment was very It was both different and the same back then. Kind of interesting.
Super Chief says in response to Little Willie, who said, "Can't go wrong with Queen and Pink Floyd." Super Chief responds with "Love Me Some Rush," and or Type.
Yeah, those can't go wrong with any of those. Like, honestly, there's so many bands I'd recommend to people that I just can't really name a lot off the top of my head. I mean, I was listening to some of the punk bands I listened to from the '70s that are good. I definitely recommend things like the Cramps. But yeah, there's just a lot of music.
Somebody did a funny skit where it was like the title was like when the metal guitarist is standing in for the bassist in a jazz band.
Yep.
And like he starts playing a solo, and everybody just starts looking at him. But he does it. He's playing a heavy metal guitar solo, but it's in jazz theme. And I commented on it. Says, "Thanks, jazz metal is now a favorite of mine."
If you want, Andy, I can start sending you stuff.
Sure.
Well, I mean, I shared with you guys that that Ethiopian cover of War Pigs that was really awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, no. Fusion and acid jazz are both pretty big genres.
Oh yeah.
Acid jazz. I don't know if I want to hear acid jazz.
It's just a way of saying that it's jazz done with like distortion guitars and heavy drumming.
Do you guys want like a fun jazz story involving Scientology?
Sure, hit me.
So L. Ron Hubbard was a big fan of like jazz fusion and stuff, to the point where like they had like a band. I think it was called the Ohio Players, no, I don't think it was called the Ohio Players. I forget what it was called. But the Apollo Players, because that was the name of the ship. This was when L. Ron Hubbard decided to go out to sea because reasons. But they had like a jazz fusion album they made, which is actually pretty decent as far as music goes. The problem was they used to put that on loop at Scientology centers, and apparently it was not uncommon for people to just take the record after a certain amount of time and just whip it down the street. Because it's like, I like jazz fusion. I don't know if I can listen to it for hours at a time. That's just like, please no. I don't listen.
One of the my favorite songs when I was like a teenager was it was from Final Fantasy VIII. Let me try and remember the name of it. It was like "You're No Dreamer" or something like that.
I'm not familiar with that.
La da da dee da da, la da 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 dee da 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 dee. And a dee da dee dee, and I know that you're no dreamer.
This is making me want to listen to "God Is an Astronaut" again.
I want to go listen to the legendary Stardust Cowboy.
Oh, that's another band you might like, Crispy. "Protest to the Hero." So you know how I said Symphony X earlier was like if Dream Theater did power metal?
No talk. Oh, sorry, I'm just replying to chat. No talk. This was when essentially L. Ron Hubbard decided to escape charges by going out to sea on a boat and starting Sea Org. Scientology's fun to get into history-wise. I don't know if I can get into all of it here, but it's...
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hobb brings up another good band of Queensryche. Think kind of a transition point between like hair metal and symphonic metal.
You know, I like both of those, but they're not my favorite kind of metal, so I'm kind of like picky on, because some of it can be like I know people like Sabaton, and yeah, they got good music, but I'm just personally not like super into Sabaton.
Yeah, it may not be your thing. Oh yeah, but the one I was suggesting is Protest of the Hero. So think like Dream Theater if Dream Theater went punk, but was still very Dream Theater-y.
Interesting. I do like Dream Theater, so I might have to look into that.
But yes, like prog speed metal.
Yeah. I also like my stoner metal, like Elder.
Oh, you might like Red Fang.
Oh, I love Red Fang.
Yeah.
Hank is Dead is a great song. I also love their. I also love their music video for Prehistoric Dog that they did.
Yeah, Prehistoric Dogs of War.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, when they go and like they like fight the LARP group after they go and make like weapons and armor out of like beer cans, and half of the video is just them making it while they're throwing out drinking. It's so great.
Well, it's them drinking all the beer so that they can use the cans.
And then like the LARP guys actually get out real weapons and then kill the band at the end.
Well, not just real weapons. Like it turns out one of them's actually a wizard.
That's right. He lightning bolts one of them, which is just like, oh, that's fun.
So, like, at first it seems like the band is making fun of him picking on LARPers, and then the LARPers turn out to be actual D&D heroes and kill them.
Oh my god. It's like Gamers. It's like the movie Gamers, where the D&D characters come to life and kill the party.
Yep.
You know what's a weird... Like, I've seen skits of the video, but like, what is it called? Necrogoblicon or something like that? Where... Necrogoblin or something like that. That's a weird shit.
Well, we are pulling up on the 4-minute mark, Crispy, so you might want to start.
Yeah, no, I'm just kind of like, just picking away bits of this till 6:30, so it's no biggie. I'm just kind of looking to see what I want to do here, because I want to add a bunch of like fun details to this yet. As you can see by the niceness of this car. I just had the thought of putting a Confederate flag on the Pontiac Aztec. I was like, maybe I shouldn't do that. Well, I was thinking, you know what I'll do? I'll put I'll put a 0-1 on the side. I'll do that at least for the General Lee.
No.
I just remembered the Dukes of Hazzard reboot movie they made where it was like Johnny Knoxville was in it, and there's just like the scene where they're stuck in traffic and they don't know the Confederate flag is on top of the car, and then all these people start like either like praising it in traffic or giving them the middle finger, and they're just like, what? And then they look like, oh no. You guys ever seen a PT Cruiser with a spoiler on it?
Potentially.
I feel like it's seen a narwhal.
To be honest, I rarely pay attention to cars unless there's something sticking out. I saw like... It wasn't a Model T, but it felt like it was from that era, that kind of car that didn't have a hood or most of the fender around the engine.
Oh, I love a good hot rod car like that. There was one that was parked next to our work, and if it wasn't going to be such a pain in the hassle, I'd find a picture of it to show on stream, but it was this really, really old, like, roadster sports car that it honestly may have been a kit car, because I would not be surprised if it was, just because it just was one of those cars where it's like, it'd be very shocking if somebody had one of these that was original, but it was such a cool looking car all the same. It was like, honestly, would not look out of place in like Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
Ba-da-ba-da-da.
I do have that all on DVD. I should watch that again. The best Batman, in my humble opinion.
Yes.
Hard to beat Kevin Conroy.
It would bring one to shed tears, if one had tears left to shed, Batman.
Remember, there might be momentary discomfort.
To feel a warm hand on a summer's day, as the sun sets. Oh yes, Batman. I would kill for that feeling again.
Oh man, so many good.
Great villain.
Mr. Freeze, I think, might be my favorite Batman.
It's like he's a villain, like, if you give him the resources to do what he wants to do, he's not going to do anything. But he would destroy the entire planet if it meant saving his wife. Like,
yeah, like if he got government funding, none of this would have happened. But
I think that's basically how Batman deals. He just funds his shit like in Arkham, and he's like, "Here, I'll give you all the money you need to like, and also when you come up with cures with stuff, we'll let you patent it." He's like, "Fair enough."
Hey, there you go.
Because I think like canonically, Mr. Freeze does actually create a bunch of cures while trying to cure Laura, right?
Yeah,
probably. I don't know enough about
it. It depends on the version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are at the end of time here for stream. So
alrighty.
All of you do stay tuned for Miss Cookie Mama, and later on Will the Great.
Yes. Thank you all for joining us today on this Tuesday, and we hope to see you all again next time. Till then, y'all take it easy.
And always remember, Andy Bacon is the best bacon.
What? No!
Eat and